received the greatest number of popular votes have been invited to this meeting here today. Congratulations. That being said, I'd like to hand it over to Deputy Brian Caskey for basically the House, how we're going to handle this.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. And again, congratulations to the 6 members of the Electoral College. I have a couple of housekeeping items first before we get into the business that we are here today to do. The first is reimbursement. Kansas has a law that allows us to reimburse you $3 for your service here today. In addition to that, the law allows you to be reimbursed 15 cents per mile. It is a state law. So on your desk, there is a form that if you wish to be reimbursed, you may fill that out and return it to me, and I will make sure that the state treasury sends you a reimbursement check. That is your decision to make, but it is a state law, the amount, so it's not our decision to give you $3, but the state's. So that's the first order of business. And then the second order of business has to do with inauguration tickets. Historically, members of the Electoral College are given tickets to the inaugural events in Washington, D.C. Those details have not yet been finalized, so I do not have any information to give you today. As soon as the U.S. Inauguration Committee makes those arrangements, I will send them to you. That will come from me, but at this point in time, those arrangements have not yet been finalized, and we will be in contact as soon as it is. So those are the 2 housekeeping items, and now we will move on to the business at hand in voting for the office of President. So I will distribute each of you a ballot for United States President. There are 3 candidates' names on said ballot, a Democrat, a Libertarian, and a Republican. In addition, there is a slate of write-in candidates who met the requirements to be a write-in candidate for President. I put those names on your desk as well, and I will now distribute those ballots for you. After marking your ballot, I will then collect them, and then Secretary of State Schwab and myself will retire to tabulate the votes.
After tallying the ballots by the Kansas Electoral College, President Donald J. Trump, the Republican, received all 6 electoral votes. We'll now commence voting for Vice President. It's a lot easier to tally this than it is election night, let me tell you. The Kansas Electoral College has nominated Vice President Michael R. Pence, Republican, as Vice President of the United States. Deputy Caskey.
Thank you. Now I hope everyone would open their gift that is in front of you because you will need it for the next part of the day. Flex your hands, get your hands ready, and we will now ask you to sign certificates of vote that will be presented to the U.S. Congress, to the President of the United States Senate, to the U.S. Archivist, to the Chief Judge of the U.S. District Court, and to yourselves as well. So I'm going to pass around approximately 20 certificates. I would like each one of you to sign. I'm going to start with Mr. Cars and sign one and just pass it along until we're done, and we'll end up with Shannon. So thank you. Thank you all for signing the certificates. Hopefully your hands are okay. I just want to briefly talk about what's next as far as Electoral College is. So today's certificates of votes will be paired with the certificate of ascertainment that ascertains how many votes each candidate received. Those certificates will be signed by the governor later today. And then the certificate of vote and the certificate of ascertainment will be transmitted to the vice president, who is also the president of the United States Senate. Two will be sent to the U.S. Archivist at the National Archive and Records Administration. Two are kept in file in our office just in case something happens. One will go to the Chief Judge of the U.S. District Court in case there are any legal challenges. We keep 2 copies just in case something else goes wrong, and then we provide each of you a copy. Once that happens, then the U.S. Archivist will transmit the certificates of ascertainment to Congress in late December. Then on January 6th of 2021, Congress meets in a joint session to count the Electoral College votes. The U.S. President presides, and that's when the votes will actually be tabulated and an elector declared at that time. And then lastly, January 20, 2021 is Inauguration Day. So that's what's next. I thank you for being here, and I will turn it over to Secretary of State Scott Schwab.
Thank you, Deputy. Deputy Caskey. I want to thank you all for coming here today. It's a great honor to be able to convene the Electoral College. I've never been elected. Now I'm get to call that together. It's kind of neat, and of course it's always nice to be back in the House chair. But that being said, I appreciate you guys with your service to the state and the United States and taking time out of your day